Hello. Today is November 4, the feast day of St.Charles Borromeo. And this is yours truly, Arthur Denchfield. Also, Rex Arcturus and Arcturus Rex. After having worked on our total gym machine, as you'll see behind me here, uh, just wanted to say a word about St. Charles Borromeo. He participated in the Council of Trent, and it was in the Council of Trent that the traditional Latin Mass was fixed in perpetuity by Pope St. Pius V. And I have imagined uh, St. Charles Borromeo alive today, what he would do if he were elected the new pontiff of the Catholic Church. He would have closed Vatican Council I, which was never formally closed, and rendered Vatican II null and void. That is to say, all the changes that happened after the closing of Vatican I are null and void. And he would have, with the stroke of a pen, as the Holy Father, he would have restored the Latin Tridentine Mass, and he would have restored all the other traditions that had been summarily destroyed one by one by the post-conciliar Catholic Church, the new church that was founded on the false basis of Vatican Council II. We highly recommend that you read the series, the 11-volume book series, In the Murky Waters of Vatican II by Attila Cinque Guimarães, who was a follower of Dr. Plinio Correa de Oliveira. And he's in California, and he's the founder of traditioninaction.org. And that's his classic work. It's a work that every cardinal and archbishop and bishop should read, In the Murky Waters of Vatican II by Attila Cinque Guimarães. It's very ironic that a Pope Leo, in the past, many centuries ago, was confronting Attila the Hun and prevented him from invading Rome. He did not see, the Pope did not see Saints Peter and Paul standing by him as huge figures menacing Attila the Hun and his army. And so Attila and his army turned around, and yet God raises another Attila, and this Attila writes In the Murky Waters of Vatican II, and he's in the hands of Almighty God, and he's pointing out truths that every clergyman in the Catholic Church should know about. And now Mother Miriam is the latest of many good Catholics who have denounced some of the antics of Leo XIV, whom Elizabeth Yore calls a Francis 2.0. And I happen to agree with Elizabeth Yore and many other traditionalist Catholics that are shocked by especially by the LGBT question, the Rainbow Coalition acceptance, and all these evil things that are happening lately in the Vatican. Finally, we urge this Three-Eye Atlas Faith Summit that all experts get together and have a frank debate on the religions of the world. And then, by a process of elimination, determine the one true religion, because there is only one true religion, and that can be determined through debate, analysis, miracles, and apologetics. And we invite such luminaries as Dr. Jay Smith, Dr. Dan Gibson, who are experts on Muhammad and Qiblas in the mosques and so on. And we also invite Her Majesty Queen Noor of Jordan, who wrote the book Leap of Faith, which I bought and read. Very well written book about Islam. And I happened to work for Queen Noor's dad when he was president of Pan American World Airways, and I was a systems engineer for Pan American way back in 1969, before she became the Queen of Jordan. At any rate, this faith summit should be made up of people such as Dr. Taylor Marshall, who's an expert on St. Thomas Aquinas, and he's a convert from Protestantism to Catholicism, and a number of other prominent figures, Raymond Arroyo, for example, speaking for EWTN, have a debate about what's what and who's who, and who's true and who's not, so that we have a united front. In the event that this Three-Eye Atlas are entities from another galaxy, then they are creations of God Himself. And if I were visiting Earth from another galaxy, knowing that human beings on this Earth put to death the co-creator of the entire universe through a highly unjust condemnation and crucifixion 2,000 years ago in the name of democracy, I would be incensed. I would want to take a vengeance on the Earth. That would be me if I were an intergalactic, let's say, visitor. But I'm not. I'm just a human. I'm an ex-seminarian, and I was in a seminary between 1960 and early '63. And the rector, Father John Young of St. John Vianney Seminary, promised us there's one thing that will not happen, and that is that the traditional Latin Mass will never be changed. He assured us, seminarians, of that, because we were all quite concerned about what was going to happen with this so-called Vatican Council II that Pope John the 23rd had convoked. At any rate, we salute St. Charles Borromeo, and we thank him for the tremendous service that he rendered the Catholic Church, especially during the times of the Council of Trent and the Catholic Counter-Reformation, which was so effective in countering all the lies of Protestantism, of the Lutheran Revolution. And now, incredibly, the city of New York is on the verge of being handed over to an anti-Christian Muslim immigrant with the help of George Soros, millions of dollars, and who knows what's going to come next to the city of New York. I happen to be one of 5 founding members of the American Society for the Defense of Tradition, Family, and Property, TFP. We got together in Manhattan in 1972 in the summer, and we campaigned on Fifth Avenue and the World Trade Center and so on and so forth, and reached many people with our slogans and also our magazine, Crusade for Christian Civilization. And the TFP has moved from New York to Pennsylvania, but is now a nationally recognized entity, especially on U.S. campuses, university campuses, where the TFP student action videos that you can see on YouTube show you the great divide that Charlie Kirk was so good at addressing when he visited universities to debate with the students. At any rate, again, St. Charles Borromeo, we ask for your prayers. We ask for your prayers that the Blessed Virgin Mary's triumph, her final triumph, which she promised at Fatima on July 13, 1917, that in the end my Immaculate Heart will triumph, or finally my Immaculate Heart will triumph and there will be peace in the world. And that has to happen only after Russia is consecrated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary by the Holy Father in union with all the bishops in the world. And we wrote a blog, a 2011 blog called 8 popes disobeyed God and over 3 billion people have died. Now it's 9 popes. Leo XIV is the 9th pope who has disobeyed God since the time of Pope Pius XI. The consecration of Russia should have happened in 1930 after the Fatima apparitions were declared worthy of belief by the whole Catholic Church after 13 years of careful deliberations by the Vatican. And I'm working on a time travel thriller in which somehow, through the grace of God, I'm able to go back to Rome in November of 1930 and talk to Pope Pius XI. And this is a science fiction type thing, but just one little change like that, like the consecration of Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, in 1930 would have collapsed communism all over the world. And that was told to me by Father Pacheco. Pacheco from the Canary Islands. He was Jose Pacheco. He was 6 years old when he saw the miracle of the sun from the Azores. He saw the sun dance, and I met him at his church. He was the pastor of Our Lady of Fatima Catholic Church in Layton, California. Layton's my middle name, but Layton, California is Laton. And in 1975, I had the privilege of meeting this pastor who had just come back from Rome, and he spoke to Sister Lucia, who told him the secret, but he wouldn't tell me the secret, the third secret of Fatima, but he did tell me one thing. He said that once the consecration is done the way God has asked that it be done, communism will collapse all over the world in one moment. And that hasn't happened yet. All these consecrations that have taken place by John Paul II, Pius XII, and Francis, they're not what God wanted. And with that, I have to go. Time is running out. And again, St. Charles Borromeo, please pray for the Holy Catholic Church, which needs a lot of help from heaven at this time. Ad majorem Dei gloriam,